Should parents let their kids quit lessons or sports? What do you think? I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach parenting, good communication, how to build strong family bonds all over the world through the lens of the principle self-government. And does self-government have anything to do with lessons and sports? Yes, it does. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. In this video, we're going to be talking about what people usually think about lessons and sports and how we kind of trap ourselves into a little box there. And then we're going to talk about what children learn by sticking to it and what they learn from quitting it, so that you can better decide if children should be allowed to quit or not. Oftentimes when people sacrifice to sign their child up for something, they do it because they think this is what the child wants, this is what the child's good at, this is going to help the child in the future to accomplish something, so maybe it's going to be good for a bio for the child for college, or whatever it happens to be. They're doing it because they truly think it's the best. A parent would not put in the extra money or the extra time unless they really felt like they were going to get something out of it, or their child was going to get some special gain out of that environment. It just takes too much time otherwise, right? And there are some parents that have their children involved in so many things that most of their waking hours with their children are in the car. So then when a child starts not succeeding, not liking it, not wanting to follow through, maybe even saying, can I just be done with that? The parent is like, what? I have sacrificed all of this time. In some cases, it's years of their lives driving in the car, getting the extra money to pay for the lessons, arranging the carpools, all the different things that they do. And they're saying to themselves, and the child doesn't really want it, doesn't care, they just want out. Well, why does the child want out? Let's ask ourselves that question first. Oftentimes, if a child is not improving at the rate that they would like to be improving, they get frustrated and they get bored. So if a particular teacher or coach does not let them pass a certain hurdle fast enough, then the child, instead of being motivated to keep working, just gets tired of it. It's just the same thing again and again. This also works, by the way, with reading. Same thing. If the child has to work too hard at reading because they're reading a book that is too far above their level and they can't get through it quick enough, soon they don't like reading anymore. Which is actually why you have to make sure that you start them at a lower level so that they can get through things quickly and then slowly move up so that they can keep going through things quickly. If they can't get the information quick enough, they don't like it. This goes for dance, it goes for any musical instrument, it goes for drama classes if they're trying to memorize something, and it goes for sports too. Also, maybe the environment isn't good. Maybe in years past there was a great coach or they had a great bond with the teacher, but now because they're not progressing fast enough, the teacher looks at them as, they're kind of a waste of my time, but fine, I'm getting paid, I'll keep doing it. And so the child suddenly doesn't have the bond because the teacher might have fallen out of that bond with the child and doesn't have as much affection for them as well. So if that situation is happening, then a person could also have a feeling like, I don't like it here, it's not a very motivating environment. Maybe they actually just need a new person to learn from. And so them saying they don't want to take from that person anymore could be just the cue you need to help them get to another person that fits their needs better. Or it could be just because they're lazy. Sometimes children hit stages, especially when they start getting into puberty, where they start getting lazy. Why is that? Well, we're going to talk about that in just a second, but before we do you see that subscribe button? That button is meant for you. Push the button now, and then when new videos come out, you'll have more of an opportunity to see them. And don't forget the notification bell as well, because then you'll actually be notified when the new videos come out. So what happens during puberty? Or when somebody is getting on to the age of puberty, well, their body is growing so much, their brain capacity is growing. They have a lot of things happening. They're tired. The hormone levels are surging, growing that body so fast. And it actually makes them so tired and worn out. And they may be at a time where they just need a little personal time to take a nap. And if they're going all the time and they don't get that personal time to take a nap, they start hating everything else that's getting in the way. But if they got a little bit more sleep, or if they maybe got a little bit more food because they needed it, or a little connection with some people one-on-one, whether it's some friends or in the family, which is actually the most important place to be connecting, if they had some of those connection points happening, then that would fuel them, so that then they could carry on and go to the lessons. So maybe they need to step it back and not do as many lessons. So usually when my children hit age 14, I actually started pulling them away from some of their lessons. I know that for some people they think, well, that's weird. That's when you want to dump them into the lessons. No, I didn't have them start until they hit, a certain age where I felt like it was right, maybe 7 or 8, they may start a music lesson or something like that from a teacher. And then once they hit about 14, or 15 or something, they're getting on to that age where their life is starting to become more busy. They want a job, they want other things. Then I start allowing them to pull away from that, and we make other plans for them to continue that education on their own by playing a couple of times a week at home and not letting the skill drop or something like that. Now, if a person is really dedicated to music and they're like, no, I have to have my lesson, then obviously you probably wouldn't have found this video. So I'm assuming somebody is saying, Mom, I want to be done. I want to quit. Maybe they just want to try something new. And it's okay to have a whole bunch of years put into one sport and then suddenly switch sports. The one sport might have prepared them for the other sport. The coordination, the breathing, all the different things that you might learn in one sport is going to help you in another sport as well. You're just going to learn how to adapt it in a different way. A person doesn't have to be the best at one thing. They can be decent at a lot of things. In fact, being decent at a lot of things, learning a lot of things, having a breadth of knowledge actually increases confidence more than being the best at one thing. It's really hard to be the best. You can be the best of your peers your same age, but you're never fully the best because there's someone older than you. There's someone that knows more than you, that's done more. And so if you become obsessed with your child becoming the best to get the scholarship or whatever it is, you actually might be sabotaging your own child. So help them develop a breadth of knowledge, try new things. So let's talk about what they could gain then from if they persevere to the end, and then what they gain if they choose to quit. I think we need to know both of those things before we can really make a good decision for the child. And as we're talking about making a good decision for the child, it is important to recognize that really it is that parental intuition, that inspiration, or you could even say revelation that a parent gets related to what their child needs that is the very most important. So that's why when I was thinking about making this video, because someone was asking me the question, Nicholeen, when do you let them quit? Should you not? We've put a lot of time into this. They're like, do you have a video on this? And I'm like, no, but I'll make one. But I thought to myself, I can't really say, yes, you should, or no, you shouldn't. I can give you the information. You can sort it. But in the end, it comes down to what you feel that child truly needs. Not what you want for the child, not what you hope for the child, but what you think that child needs at that particular time. And sometimes what they need is to pull back from groups. And sometimes what they need is to engage in a different way in groups, or to stick it through so that they can see that they can do hard things. So let's talk about perseverance then. When a person perseveres and they see themselves all the way through something, they start something at the beginning of the year and they finish it. They're not allowed to quit. The parent says, no, you committed, you're part of this team. They can't lose a person suddenly. You have to stick with them throughout this whole season. If the parent says, nope, you've committed, you've got to learn to follow through with your commitments. Pull yourself together. Then what is the child going to learn? The child is going to learn mind over matter. The child is going to learn, I have to change my mind, because what am I going to do? Spend my whole time being frustrated about this? And the child is going to learn, even if I don't want to, do I have a duty sometimes? That's an important thing for them to understand. They also are going to learn they can do more than they thought they could. This is a very powerful thing for a person to learn, because I think many people give up too soon, too quickly, as soon as something starts becoming hard. In fact, I will say in our modern culture, with the coddling of children that often happens, parents want to please their children instead of parent their children. There are two different things there, because parenting is not always pleasing. It can feel comfortable, safe, connective, but it may not 100% please the child 100% of the time. If you're worried about pleasing your child, which a lot of people are doing nowadays, then they oftentimes get really stressed if the child acts like they don't like something. And that's when they're like, yeah, maybe we should just let them pull out because they don't like it. Not liking it and needing to follow through are two different things. And so you could take on the mindset, they always pull out when they don't like something. They don't like broccoli, so they don't eat it. They don't like chocolate, so they don't eat it. They don't like whatever it is. And they never want, well, on this one, they need to see that they can get through to the end, that they can make themselves do a hard thing. Otherwise, they might think of themselves as being too fragile. And we do have that as a societal problem right now, fragility. It's like a disease infecting many people, and that's because of increased coddling. So I would say more people usually need to help their children stick to it and follow through. However, there were key times in my children's lives when I felt like, no, they need to pull back. They are recognizing a sign, I need to recognize it too. So let's talk about, when do you need to pull out? Well, sometimes a child needs to be more balanced, or they need to have more of their foundational needs met. What are the foundational needs for a person? Well, for a child, in fact, for all of us, one of our number one top foundational needs is connection to family. So if they are very disconnected from family, then yeah, they need to pull back from some activities. Even if the team is going to suffer a loss because now they don't have a goalie anymore, or whatever it is. I guess we call that keeper now, don't we? Not goalie. Anyway, they don't have a keeper anymore. Too bad. If my child's real need is they need their family right now, emotionally they're not doing okay, they need connection to people who will strengthen them. Maybe the coach or the instructor is starting to be kind of toxic with the child. This is impacting their mental health in a negative way. Then they need to step back. There were some times where my child said to me, Mom, I kind of want to quit. I'm kind of tired of this, this class I'm doing. And the class was really good and exciting at first, but now they don't like it. And I'd say, are you just tired today doing the class? Or are you tired, like completely tired of the class? And I would say, let's talk about, are you still learning new things in the class? Or is it just boring? Is it all repetitive? Because if that's the case, I'm with you, let's get out. That's a waste, right? Let's not waste our time. But if it's just this one day that you feel like you need something, your needs met or something, then let's just skip one day. So I don't keep my mindset trapped in any particular box. I'm in charge of my children. I'm in charge of seeing what their needs are. And then I pick what they get to do and they don't get to do. So sometimes the answer is, yeah, we're not going today. Or yeah, you can drop completely out because it seems like the environment's stagnant or the peer group is bad and it's negatively impacting you. So yeah, we're done. I don't care if I've paid the money. Now that's another thing. Parents, if you've paid money for it, but you know that your child is not thriving overall and something has to adjust, then it was a good investment in that thing to know what needed to be adjusted. Pull them out. Don't worry about the money. The money's gone anyway. Whether they stayed in or they didn't, the money's gone. So now just pick what they need. People will stick with something because of money. I don't understand that. None of these activities are about money, yet parents worry about it because they try to invest in things for their children. But it's about the person. It's about the child. So if you don't get your money's worth, like you say, then change it in your head to decide how you did get your money's worth by seeing what it was your child needed. So should your child quit or not? It's actually up to you, so seek inspiration on that. Really see what their needs are, maybe make a list of the needs, and then make a list of what they are gaining from this particular activity. If it doesn't meet enough of those needs, just bail. And if they need to learn to follow through with something, even if you feel like it's not the top priority on their list, then follow through with that, because that need is a higher need. If you've enjoyed this video, I know you will love my next video, which talks all about the principles and skills of self-government, and it's called The Not So Known Secret for Parenting Success. Click on a link to that video now. I'll see you there.